Hello neighbor, this is Curt with etrailer, and today I want to talk about the semi-custom seat covers from Seat Cover Solutions. Now, if you've ever purchased these and installed them in your vehicle, go ahead and tell us what you think about them in the comments below. We'd love to share your experience with other neighbors in order to help them make the best decision for themselves. Now, if you've had any experience with seat covers at all, you know there's a variety of types that you can get. There's the styles that are kind of almost like a canvassy or a cloth that go on really loose. They're very, very easy to install. At the same time, they tend to lose their shape, and because they're so loose fitting, they could also be a little bit hard to do a quick cleaning on. Then you've also got the ones that are truly custom. Truly custom seat covers can often take a day or even 2 days if you're doing a couple of rows in order to install, and believe me, because I've done it a few times before, they can really leave your hands a wreck and are often best left to professionals. Semi-custom is going to give you that OEM factory look that you get out of the custom seat covers without having all of that movement and all that high maintenance that you get out of the ones that are just kind of lay over your seat. These are going to install extremely easily. You could do it yourself. We were able to install both rows of this vehicle in under an hour, and they look magnificent. They don't shift around at all because they do provide a pretty snug fit. There are a few things you'll pick up on, like for instance, a little bit of looseness here around the edge, and that's more of a look or an aesthetic thing, and that could change depending on the vehicle that you're putting it on. But generally overall, these are an excellent way to be able to protect your seats, have them look fantastic, be low maintenance, and really have no real issues with. All right, so to talk a little about these seats in particular, we'll start with the front row. So the front row here has a lot of nice padding, and that's because these are filled with a memory foam, so that's going to be really, really good for your comfort and keeping its shape over time. So it really has a nice feel when you're sitting in these, and honestly, the Eco Leather is a really easy clean. It's really easy to just wipe, a rag across this to get things cleaned up. You don't have it getting caught up in that loose kind of canvassy stuff, which you really can't clean with a rag. You really have to do it with a vacuum. But since they fit so loose, the vacuum kind of sucks up that excess cloth. You're not going to have an issue with this whether you want to run a rag over it or use a vacuum. You may notice also that these are kind of a diamond pattern and perforated. And while that, you might think that that's just for the look, it actually serves a really good purpose. What it's going to allow these seat covers to do is circulate air. That means that those expensive trim packages you paid for, like the heated seats or the cooling seats, those are going to work just fine through these seat covers. You won't even notice a difference with or without them. It's also going to allow a slot on the side over here that is going to allow your side airbags to deploy as well. So they really thought of kind of the extra things that you might have in your vehicle and being able to keep that comfort and invest in a seat cover that's going to allow you to use all those expensive trim packages. The other thing that I personally love about this with a back like mine is the extra lumbar support here. This is really, really nice, especially if you're in the car for a while and you really want to not be getting out and stretching out every hour or two as you're on the road. And I had mentioned also that installation on these is really, really easy. The back here, the seat back, really is simple. It's just going to be slipped down over your seat. After removing the headrest, you'll slip it down over the seat. There's a zipper on the side over here that you'll just zip down to tighten it up. And there's a couple of these anchors that you're going to be able to put into your seat seam here in order to keep the bottom in place. The seat itself is going to be, strapped down underneath the seat. There is going to be adjustable straps to be able to tighten down from there. So really all you need to do is feed them through the other side, connect them, pull them tight. Another thing that helps keep these in place is that there is a silicone studded backing to these. So even though these strap in really nicely and don't move, that is just an extra added measure, especially down here, that's going to keep this really from slipping around. So again, very comfortable, very nice looking, and a very easy installation. Now, as we move to the back seat, we're really going to have all the same features that we had in the front seat as far as the Eco Leather, the perforation, and the memory foam. There's just a couple of things that are a little bit different about it. So the seats themselves, they're going to get installed with those same strap and connections going underneath the seat. They are going to have that silicone backing to keep them from slipping around. Now, we're not going to get as tight of a fit in here because the strapping is a little bit different, so so it covers a little more ground. The backing, however, is going to go in simply using those anchors at the bottom, and it's going to have a strap up at the top that you'll connect and tighten that's just going to go around your headrest. So with the back seat and the variety of back seats that are out there, do make sure that you use our fit guide to make sure that you get the right set for your vehicle, because there's all kinds of different back seats, such as 60-40 splits, even bucket seats and things like that. You just really want to make sure that you're getting the right kit for your vehicle, so please make sure you use our fit guide before purchasing. Now, the vehicle that we have it in today also has these centerpieces here that are going to go in, and these are a little bit unique. So in order to be able to use any of the fold down for cargo, there is a hook and loop attachment to the back of this. The seat backs back here have a different backing than the rest of the seat covers. It doesn't have that silicone. It does have a material that is going to connect to this hook and loop. So if you need to do the split seating, you'll need to undo this and undo this on the seat down here in order to get that seam out of the way and get it folded down. The other thing too back here with this is seat belt access, because every back seat is a little bit different. There are going to be some that have a little bit more success, like we did over here behind the driver's seat, as far as getting that seat buckle exposed. And then there are going to be others that are going to be tucked away a little bit more. In this vehicle, you can't really pull these out any further, at least not far enough to get this to kind of go around it and leave them exposed. So you may be in situations when you have passengers back here that you got to fold this up and back down, but honestly, it's not a very difficult thing to do, so it's not something that would bother me personally. The seat back headrests, by the way, are going to be really easy to put on. They're just an elastic bottom that go on just like that. And then as far as for the drivers, these are a little bit different in this model. What they have here is they've got a hook and loop underneath and makes for a really snug fit that way. The ones you see here are black, but you can get this in a variety of colors like beige, wine red, black and blue, or black and gray. So there you have it. These seat covers are going to be extremely easy to install. They're going to be very, very comfortable and easy to maintain. And they're going to give you a real luxury OEM look in your vehicle. So that's it for the seat covers from Seat Cover Solutions. I'm Curt with eTrailer. Thanks for stopping by.